Okay, we're going to pick up in this video at the point where you've created a quiz and you're ready to send it out and get it back to be graded. And you want to collect those responses together, analyze them, and decide which questions are right, which ones are wrong. And the first thing we're going to look at is just some settings. You may already have these right, but want to make sure of a few. I want to make sure that you have it checked to collect email addresses. So unless it's a quiz where you know all the right answers already, right? So it's a math quiz maybe, and they're just numbers. You don't need that checked. But if you have to do any manual grading, you want that on. And then I'm going to click the limit to one response. I didn't have that on before, so I have a couple responses in here from the same person, but it's just to show you how to do it. So I have it checked here where people can't edit their submissions after they click that they're done, and they can't see summaries of other people's answers. You also want to go to the quizzes tab and make sure that you've enabled to make this a quiz. That's what allows you to put the points in. And you tell it that you want to release the grades later after manual review, and that's what we're going to be doing. We'll leave these last three on. We're going to click Save. And we have 3 responses already. So we've already gone up into the upper right-hand corner, left-clicked on Send, sent it out, gotten some responses back. So this is where we're going to pick up here with the tutorial. So let's go to responses, and you have 3 tabs at the top. You have a summary, which is going to give you kind of higher level statistical information about the answers. You may want to look at that after you grade things. So let's just move on to question. And what this does, this lets you look at one question at a time. So you can look at all the responses for one question. So we're going to look at the first question. And let's bounce back to our form to see what we're looking at. So this first question was a multiple choice, and it's designed to have only one right answer. And when I made the question, I went down to the bottom, I left-clicked on Answer Key, and I told it what the right answer was and how many points it was worth. So if all the questions were like this, you could have this auto-graded. You wouldn't need to go in manually. You may want to go in manually just to see what the results were and what happened. But this one's easy. But the next one is a little bit harder, so I made this to be a paragraph type of question. And so it doesn't get automatically graded because you don't have an exact string of characters that you want your respondents to type in for it to be right? So when you make the answer key, there is no place to put in the right answer. You could leave them feedback. You could say, I've provided some extra background on this question. Here's a video for you to watch, right? You could link to a YouTube video there if you wanted to. But there is no right answer, and 3 and 4 do have right answers. So he was from a particular country, and these wars were fought in a certain order. You come down to the answer key, there they are. So let's go back to the responses, and we're going to look at that question that's a paragraph. So I'm on the question tab. This is one question at a time. That was the second question. So we'll go one to the right. And this is all of the answers for that question. So in this case, you would go through, and this answer, you say it's really good, you like it. Just left click on the plus sign. That'll mark it completely right. He was good at leading his people. I give that a 5. That's okay. And then he was good at his job. You decide that's just a cop-out answer. You're not giving it all. So just left click on the plus. It'll make that completely wrong. Then you need to remember to go down and click on Save. And let's just go look at 3. It should have been auto-graded, and it was because he's from France. It marked this response wrong. So you can see which respondent this was. So it was the second response that I did with my account. And the 2 responses that were right were these 2 people. You can come in and change this. If you set a right answer, but you decided later that it's wrong, you could mark it wrong here if you wanted to, or adjust the points. You can change the view options so that you can see the right and wrong answers at the top. So this is kind of your answer key, and then you go down and then you see which answers were provided. But now let's take a look at the individual tab, and what this allows you to do is see all the questions for each individual that answered the quiz together. So you can analyze it based on each person if you want. And then after you look at it to make sure things make sense, this is where you release the score. So you see this is actually my account. So we're going to open up my Gmail account. Feel free to read everything on the screen. It's not that interesting. YouTube comments. Well, it is interesting, but maybe not to you. Let's left click on release score. So this just means you look through it, you agree with it. You can leave a message. You can say, this person didn't do very well, right? 0 out of 26. Let's say, okay, so I thought about cutting this part out, but I'll tell you what happened. I have my video recording software. I thought it was smart. I set it to stop recording just when I type an S. So I was typing out that message. There was an S in the message and poof. So this is an hour or two later. So we're back. I got the email that says, let's discuss. And I can see that's a world history fall quiz 0 out of 26. Okay, so I'm acting like the student right now. And the student can still left click on view. It will bring them back to the form and they can take a look at what happened. In this case, not a lot happened. Didn't go too well. So another way to look at the scores, let's go back to that form. And when you look at this screen, I'm at the summary right now, but this icon stays here no matter what tab you're on. There's a little icon of spreadsheet. So this will export the scores to a Google Sheet, and you can pick the destination. So if you want to have one sheet and it's accumulating all the scores for all your students, you can pick that here. But we're just going to left click on the Google Sheet, and you'll see that this is keeping track of all your students' scores. So it has the time it was submitted, as the email address, and then all of the other relevant information from when they submitted it. I must not have released these ones yet, but there would be all the data in here as you were going through it. So keeping them in a spreadsheet is a great alternative. If that works for you, that's the way you should do it. The other way that's built into Google to track these grades is if you were just using Google Classroom. If you decided to use Google Classroom, you would create a class. So there's a video for that. I'll link to it. And inside that class, so let's say it was math, you would go to classwork from here and then create a quiz assignment. So it's going to be the same interface. You're going to see the same Google form. But when you grade it, the grades are going to be summarized in the grades just for this class. And you'll get a dashboard here with a history of everything. So I hope that was helpful. If you want a little tutorial of just how to create that quiz and structure different questions, I've linked to that on this end screen, and then also about how to create a class in Google Classroom. So thanks for watching. If you like that, please subscribe.